Let me ask you a question. Have you ever once heard somebody say, less is more? Well, in today's episode, I'm going to share with you several different examples on how less is more can be applied to your own life so that way you can become the best version of yourself, not just physically, but most importantly, mentally as well. For starters, I want to give a huge shout out to Brian. He's not only just an amazing Heartletics member, but he's an amazing dentist as well. And I actually reached out to him because I was having problems and some issues with my tooth. So I sent Brian over a video. I'm like, Brian, I got a dentist appointment scheduled for next month for just a regular teeth cleaning. But I said, for some odd reason, this tooth is bothering me. It's like when I touch it at the very top near my gum, it's like really sensitive, like a sharp pain. And I was like, I'd rather just come to you, the professional, right? And ask for your advice on what should I do rather than, go on YouTube and go on Google and you search around and just kind of figure out, some different things. So Brian, being the kind soul that he is, within 5 minutes sends me back a video asking me several different questions, Obviously, he's a dentist, and it's just like how I'm a coach. If somebody's applying for our coaching program, we want to first diagnose them. We want to ask them several different questions to see if we can help them first, and figure out what is the root of the problem. Well, Brian did the same exact thing with me. He's asking me all these different questions in this video. I'm replying back to him just so we can kind of figure out what is like the root of the issue that's causing me this pain in my tooth. So in this case, with Brian giving me advice when it comes to my teeth, it was very simple. Hey, Joe, less is more. Don't scrub so hard. You're going to actually cause more harm than good. You're going to do damage to your gums. Just chill. And if we had to put this into a health and fitness analogy, well, think about it like this. There is 24 hours in the day. And let's say out of those 24 hours, you're working out for 1 hour a day, right? You're being active. You're either going to the gym or doing some push-ups, sit-ups at home. Regardless of what you're doing, right? You're working out. Well, the remainder of those 23 hours, you're not. You're obviously focusing on your nutrition. You're focusing on the recovery. You're focusing on the sleep. Now, let me ask you a question. What if the tables were turned? How would you feel if, let's say, you worked out for 23 hours a day and you only had 1 hour to focus on the sleep, the nutrition, the recovery? How would you feel? What would be different about you if you, once again, worked out for 23 hours a day? How long could you actually do that before, too much is actually harmful for you, right? You're actually going to be doing more damage than good. So I was finishing up one of my workouts and I was getting ready to leave the gym when I was stopped by this individual. And he said, hey, I always see you in here working out. You're in great shape. Can I just ask you a question? And I said, yeah, of course. What's going on? He said, I just have this stubborn body fat, right? Right around like my midsection here. He called it like the little like spare tire. And he's like, I just want to learn, how can I get rid of this? And I said, oh, that's a simple thing to do, but hey, can I ask you some questions first just to make sure that we're on the same page before I give you any recommendations? And he said, of course. So the first question that I asked him was, hey, how much do you currently weigh right now? And he mentioned to me that he weighed 195 pounds. Second question was, okay, do you consume a lot of protein throughout the course of the day? And he mentioned, no, not really. And so the third question was, well, are you tracking that protein that you are consuming? And he said, no. And I said, okay, great. Here's my one piece of advice, my one recommendation. I promise you this. If you did this for the next 2 to 3 months, you will probably lose some body fat. And in fact, you'll probably have a lot more energy and probably start putting on some muscle as well. And so his eyes lit up at this point. So I told him that my recommendation would be to take your body weight and multiply it by 1. That's going to give you 195. That's how many grams of protein you should be consuming each and every day. And I told him that, hey, you can get, protein in through lean meats. You can get it in through egg whites, Greek yogurts, protein bars, protein powders, and just making sure that you're tracking it, right? Consuming and tracking all that to making sure that you're actually hitting 195 grams of protein each and every day. Now, this right here is what I want you to pay close attention to. He immediately started asking me, well, should I be taking creatine? Should I be taking these fat burner pills? Should I be taking these other supplements? And I said, I didn't say that. I said, eat more protein. Then he starts asking me about cardio. I don't even do cardio. I hate cardio. He's like, should I do the bike? Should I do the elliptical? Should I do the stair climber? And I said, hey, I didn't say that. I said eat more protein. Then he's asking me about how many days he should be working out, and I said, once again, I didn't say that. I said eat more protein. Then he starts asking me if he should cut out alcohol and cut out, sugar and all these carbs. And I'm like, listen, you're not understanding what I'm saying here. I told you, eat more protein. That's it. And then I had to educate him a little bit. And I said, do you know what KISS stands for? And he said, no. And I said, keep it simple, stupid. I said, at the end of the day, if you ended up doing all these different cardio things, you end up doing all these different workout things, you end up cutting out all these, carbs and sugar and alcohol and different things like that, taking all these different supplements, right? I said, if you end up getting, right, to your goal of losing that stubborn body fat, then guess what? You have to constantly do all that over and over and over and over again in order to keep that body fat off. But I said, hey, what if the solution for your problem was very simple and all you needed to do was just eat more protein? So it wasn't this, it wasn't that, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. But if you end up doing all these different things that you just recommended and mentioned to me, then guess what? Like, eventually what's going to happen? Either one, it's not going to be sustainable for you. You're going to fall off the wagon. Or two, you're not going to figure out what is the key. What is the missing piece of the puzzle that's going to end up helping you reach your goal? So why don't you start off, right, with using the advice that I gave you, which was just eat more protein. Keep it simple, stupid. Because if you're able to reach your goals by just consuming more protein, then you don't have to worry about the cardio. You don't have to worry about cutting out your alcohol and your donuts. You don't have to worry about taking all these supplements. You don't have to be working out, every single day for the rest of your life. Like, the simple solution was just eating more protein. But mentally, you're thinking you have to do all these different things in order to reach your goals. Keep it simple, stupid. So hopefully you guys can see that less truly does equal more. I mean, think about it like this. Where else in your life would less equal more apply to? Maybe, let's just say arguments, right? With your spouse. Well, guess what? Like, nobody wants to just argue more and more and more and more. It's like, no, right? Less equals more, right? Let's argue less. What about, we just talked about protein, so let's use that for analogy, Protein obviously is higher up on the thermic effect of food. That's why I always recommend it, to our members to consume more protein. Having around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is great advice to get started with, But let's just say you're like, more protein, more body fat. I'm going to take my body weight and multiply it by 5. Well, guess what? That's going to be a lot of grams of protein to consume. That's not going to be good for you at all. Once again, less equals more. What about fear, doubt, anxiety? I don't know a lot of people that want to have more fear and more doubt and more anxiety and constantly worried all the time. Once again, less equals more. What about, think about it like this. Constantly saying yes to people and, I'll help out here and I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this. And you're just a yes man nonstop. You don't ever know how to say no, right? You don't ever know how to just raise your own standards and, set these boundaries for yourself, and you run yourself thin. You're constantly helping out others, but you're never filling up your cup here, right? So once again, less equals more. If you guys can see behind me right now, I have a decent collection of books. Maybe there's, 18, 20 of them. But at the end of the day, like these books over here, there's a lot of information. There's books about motivation, there's books about habits, there's books about mindset, there's books about all these different things and knowledge that I was trying to acquire and all this stuff. But in my own personal life, I can simply say this, where less equals more. Instead of having all those books right there, I got one book right here called the Holy Bible. And this has all the truth, all the answers that I was looking for in all those books right here. So once again, less equals more. Instead of having, a bazillion different books and constantly try to, acquire this and find out this and find out this, to what I'm searching for personally for me when it comes to growing spiritually, guess what? I found the answers right here in one book. And in this book, here are just a few quick stories on how less is more. For starters, David killed Goliath. David, a little shepherd boy. And how did he kill Goliath? He did it with a slingshot and a few small pebbles. That's it. He didn't have any armor. He didn't have any swords. He didn't have any infantry or army, with him. It was just him by himself. Another great story is Gideon, how he had 300 men with him, and those 300 men defeated 135,000 Midianites. How about the miracle when Jesus fed over 5,000 people with literally just having 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish? How about with Jesus dying on the cross for our sins? I mean, if you think about it, less is more. One death brought life for the entire world. So hopefully you guys can see that less really does equal more, and I provided so many different analogies for you. Now, if you're somebody that is struggling on your health and fitness journey, and let's just say you're constantly telling yourself, oh, I'll get started next week, or I'll get started after the holidays, or I'll get started in the New Year's. Listen, find what you can be consistent with. Find what is sustainable for you and your lifestyle, and then from there, guess what? It's small little increments. That's it. 1% better each and every day. I really hope that you guys got a lot of value from today's episode. If you did, definitely do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below also, letting me know your biggest takeaway. And as always, I would greatly appreciate it. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please make sure you do that. And as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scouts.